I sat by the window, watching my granddaughter Jessica play outside. The golden leaves on the trees swayed gently. Autumn had arrived, bringing back old memories. Jessica, only 8 years old, looked so much like me when I was young. She ran toward me, her laughter filling the air. "Grandma, tell me a story from when you were little," she asked. I smiled and nodded. This was not just a story. It was my life. Taking a deep breath, I prepared to share my past, a past full of love, struggle, and learning to stand up for myself. Many years ago, when I was 30, I lived in New York City. I worked hard as a lawyer and wanted to make a difference in the world. But my family did not understand me. My mother, Caroline, only cared about status and what people thought of us. My younger sister, Samantha, loved parties and fun. Only my father, George, supported me. "You should get married," my mother often said. "A woman shouldn't focus only on work." It hurt when she said that. I wanted her to be proud of me, but she never was. One night, my mother planned a big party. "Rich families will be there," she said. "You might find a good husband." I sighed. "I have work, Mom. I can't come." She frowned. "Eleanor, you are 30. Do you want to end up alone?" Samantha laughed. "Yeah, sis. No man will want you if you keep working so much." I stayed quiet, but my father noticed my sadness. Later that night, as we walked in the park, he said, "Follow your own path, Eleanor. One day, they will understand." His words made me feel stronger. I listened to my father and worked even harder. I took on a big case about a man who exposed a company's corruption. It was an important case, but dangerous too. My mother was angry. "This will ruin our family's reputation," she said. "No man will want to marry a woman who causes trouble." I ignored her and kept working. What she didn't know was that I already had someone. Michael, a kind doctor, was my secret fiancé. I loved him, but I was afraid to tell my mother. She only cared about money and status. One day, everything changed. My phone rang. It was my mother. "Your father had an accident," she cried. My heart pounded as I rushed to the hospital. When I arrived, I saw him lying on the bed in pain. "Dad, I'm here," I whispered. The doctor looked serious. "His injury is bad. He needs surgery and a long recovery." My mother sobbed, but Samantha just sighed. "This is bad timing," she said. "I have a trip planned." I clenched my fists. My father had always been there for me. Now, I would be there for him. I changed my schedule to care for him, but my mother and sister didn't help much. "I have meetings," my mother said. "I need a break," Samantha added. They left quickly every time. It hurt, but I focused on my father. One evening, as I sat beside him, I heard someone call my name. "Eleanor?" I turned and saw Michael. "I work here in pediatrics. Let me help," he said. His kindness made my heart feel lighter. I nodded, grateful to have him. Then something terrible happened. My father got pneumonia. "He needs the ICU," the doctor said. I felt dizzy. This was serious. I called my mother and sister, but they didn't rush to the hospital. When they arrived, they only talked about their own worries. That night, I stayed by my father's side. Michael sat beside me and took my hand. "You're not alone," he said. I rested my head on his shoulder, finally letting my tears fall. The next morning, the doctor gave me heartbreaking news. "Your father has cancer. It's in the late stage." My hands shook. "How much time does he have?" I asked. 6 months to a year," he said. I made a decision. I quit my job to care for my father. My mother and sister were shocked. "You're throwing away your career," Samantha scoffed. "And what will you do after he's gone?" my mother added. Their words didn't matter. Michael held my hands. "Take the time you need," he said. I knew I was making the right choice. One evening, as I sat beside my father's hospital bed, he held my hand weakly. "Eleanor," he whispered, "I know about Michael." My eyes widened. "How do you know, Dad?" He gave a small smile. "I know you well, my daughter. And I saved money for your future, for your wedding, and a home." Tears welled up in my eyes. Even in his weakest moments, he was thinking about me. Then he gently squeezed my fingers. "Promise me something," he said. "Try to forgive your mother and Samantha." I hesitated, feeling the pain they had caused. But I nodded. Not long after, my father passed away peacefully. It felt like my whole world had shattered. The funeral was a quiet, dignified event. Many of his students and colleagues came to pay their respects. I stood as the chief mourner, holding back tears. But my mother and Samantha? They didn't seem truly sad. They whispered among themselves, checked their phones, and barely listened to the eulogies. I clenched my fists, swallowing my anger. Then, after the guests left, Zrania, my mother handed me a piece of paper. "We are taking everything," she said coldly. "It's all in your father's will." Samantha smirked. "That's right, you get nothing." My hands trembled as I took the paper and read it. Something felt wrong. My father's signature didn't look like his. My heart pounded. "This isn't his handwriting," I said firmly. My mother's face turned pale for a moment, but she quickly recovered. "Of course it is," she snapped. "He signed it before he passed." But I knew the truth. "You forged this," I whispered. "Dad would never leave me out of his will." Samantha crossed her arms. "Too bad. The house and money are ours. You can leave now." I looked at them, feeling the last shred of love I had for them disappear. "Fine," I said quietly. "If this is how you want it, I won't fight you for money." I turned and walked away from the house I had once called home. The wind outside was cold, but I felt strangely light, as if a heavy weight had been lifted from me. I had lost my father, and now I had lost my family too. But deep down, I knew I was finally free. I had Michael, I had my career, and I had my own future. A week later, my mother called. Her voice was panicked. "Eleanor, the money is gone," she cried. I frowned. "What do you mean?" "Your father's account. It's empty. Where did it go?" My heart skipped a beat. Then, I realized, my father had planned this all along. "Dad used it for me," I said. "He paid for my wedding and my home." Silence filled the line. Then, Samantha's voice broke through. "You're joking, right? What are we supposed to do now?" I felt no pity. "Figure it out yourselves," I said, then hung up the phone. Michael wrapped his arms around me. "Are you okay?" he asked. I nodded, feeling strangely at peace. For the first time in my life, I feel free. We had a small, beautiful wedding, just as my father had wished. I kept working as a lawyer, building a career I was proud of. Years passed. My mother and Samantha struggled financially. Samantha lost her job and moved from one part-time job to another. My mother, once so proud of her status, now had nothing. I heard bits of news about them from old family friends. I felt no hatred, only distance. Then one day my phone rang. A young voice spoke hesitantly. "Aunt Eleanor? I'm Samantha's daughter." I froze. "Samantha has a daughter?" I asked in surprise. "Yes," the girl said. "Mom is struggling. She needs help." I didn't know how to respond. After everything they had done, did I owe them anything? But then my father's words echoed in my mind. "Try to forgive them." I closed my eyes and sighed. "I'll see what I can do," I said softly. Michael watched me, his face full of understanding. "What will you do?" he asked. I thought for a moment. I looked out the window at the autumn leaves, just like the ones I had seen the day my father made me promise to forgive. "I'll do what Dad would have wanted," I said. Now, as I sit with Jessica, telling her this story, I feel at peace. "Family isn't perfect," I say, "but love can heal wounds." Jessica nods. "Grandma, you're really strong." I smile. "So are you, Jessica." As the leaves fall, I know my father is watching over us. The lessons he taught me, the ones about love, strength, and forgiveness, will never be forgotten.